Have you ever found yourself just staring at your phone, hovering over the publish button, and feeling totally paralyzed by the sheer effort of trying to present yourself online?
Oh, absolutely. It is completely overwhelming.
Right. You probably know the exact feeling I'm talking about. You've got this great thought, or maybe a cool project you just finished, but then the mental gymnastics begin.
Yeah, the classic overthinking spiral.
Exactly. You start wondering, does this belong on my ultra-polished LinkedIn profile? Or is it, I don't know, better suited for that chaotic Instagram account I use exclusively for my weekend woodworking hobby?
It is a very real struggle. We are all, in some way, living these fractured online lives.
We really are. And managing those different versions of ourselves has become incredibly messy. Which brings us to the mission for today's deep dive.
And this is a really fascinating one.
It really is. We are looking at a masterclass in untangling this exact kind of web. Our sources today are two highly strategic, incredibly detailed reference documents prepared for a multimedia creator named Imre Kolozsvary.
Yes. And these documents, they were built to map out this massive web of online branding, naming hierarchies, and platform ecosystems.
Which sounds super technical, but while they are tailored for one specific musician, the insights apply to anyone trying to keep their digital life straight.
Definitely. What stands out immediately in these strategy documents is that they treat online presence not as like a marketing gimmick, but as an infrastructure challenge.
An infrastructure challenge, I like that.
Right, it's about taking a scattered, almost chaotic digital existence and making it feel completely coherent. You have to make it make sense to the creator who has to manage it every day.
Yeah, because they're the ones actually doing the work.
Exactly. And to the audience who is trying to understand it,
Yeah.
all without flattening the actual nuance of the art itself.
The best analogy I could think of as I was reading through this material is that managing a modern creative footprint, it's like trying to run a multi-room nightclub.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
You have to simultaneously be, well, the bouncer checking IDs at the front door to make sure people know where they are, and then you have to be the DJ curating the vibe in 3 completely different rooms.
Right.
And on top of all that, you're also the owner in the back office just trying to pay the electric bill. It is an overwhelming amount of context switching.
It really is. Because in that club setting, the jazz lounge in the back doesn't have the same vibe or the same lighting or even the same audience as the main electronic dance floor.
No, not at all.
But they fundamentally have to belong to the same building. And that brings us to the very first hurdle the source text tackles. Before you can even begin to figure out where a creator should post their work, you have to establish who is actually posting.
Right, the identity map. Okay, let's unpack this because the section was fascinating. Imre's digital footprint was spread across multiple different names and handles built up over years.
Which is super common for creators, you know.
Oh yeah. But from an audience perspective, that is a recipe for total confusion. I mean, if a fan finds a piece of music they like, but the YouTube channel is named one thing, the Patreon is named another, and the Instagram is something else entirely, they are gonna bounce.
Yeah, there's just too much cognitive friction.
Exactly. So the source material outlines 5 distinct layers of identity here, like a set of Russian nesting dolls.
The nesting doll visual is a perfect way to think about it, because each layer sits inside the other. At the very center, the core, is Imre Kolozsvary. That is the actual human creator.
The person behind the keyboard.
Right, the personal anchor for everything else. But you don't necessarily want your personal human name to be the brand name for every single project you ever do. So stepping out one layer, the strategy introduces Kolozsvary Productions.
Which basically acts like a corporate holding company.
Precisely. Kolozsvary Productions is the umbrella brand. It's the public hub, the flagship building that holds all the different nightclub rooms you mentioned earlier.
And then inside that building, sitting on the shelf as the flagship products, we have the specific artist identities.
Yes.
There is Coriuminus, which is the primary music identity heavily utilized on subscription platforms like Patreon. There is ARIA, which the text describes as a featured persona and virtual musician presence.
A very distinct vibe from the
It's
rest.
very distinct. And then adding another layer of complication, there is Piano 2 Precious, which is a legacy handle from an older YouTube channel and older internet platforms.
Now think about the natural instinct most people have when they see a list like that, they panic.
Oh, yeah. They think I have too many names. I need to rebrand immediately.
Exactly. They think they have to delete the old stuff and start fresh. People
Yeah.
nuke their old accounts all the time. But the guidance in these strategic documents advises the exact opposite.
Wait, really? So they don't want you to clean house?
No, not at all. You do not need to collapse your past. You don't delete a legacy handle like Piano Too Precious because that handle has history. It has old links pointing to it. It has legacy SEO value.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Right. You just need to contextualize it.
And the way they solve this is incredibly elegant. The documents provide what they call a master bio to act as a legend for this entire map.
It's just one sentence, isn't it?
Literally one sentence, I'll just quote it directly. Imre Kolozsvary is the creator behind Kolozsvary Productions, with music and multimedia projects including Coriuminus and ARIA.
That single sentence removes all the cognitive friction for the audience.
It's so clean.
It really is. If someone stumbles onto an old video under the name Piano Too Precious, they might click the profile, see that master bio, and instantly understand the hierarchy.
It tells the public exactly how the pieces connect.
Yeah, it allows the creator to keep the human name at the top of an account, but clarifies that the art itself might live under a different persona.
It does all the heavy lifting so the audience doesn't have to guess. Now, with the hierarchy of who is posting firmly established, the strategy pivots to where this art actually lives.
This is where things get really interesting.
Here's where it gets really interesting, yes. My immediate assumption, and I think the assumption of anyone trying to optimize their time, is to just find the biggest room possible and throw all the art inside.
Just cram it all in there.
Yeah, like why spread yourself thin? Just put everything on one mega platform and call it a day. But the sources argue forcefully against that centralization.
They do. The core philosophy presented in these documents is that a digital ecosystem is not broken just because it is layered. In fact, a layered ecosystem is far more resilient.
Okay, but I have to push back on that a bit.
Sure.
Because as I was reading, I kept thinking about the sheer exhaustion of managing multiple logins, multiple upload formats, and multiple algorithms. Take the music industry, for example. The conventional wisdom is that you just dump everything on Spotify.
That is the default, yeah.
Right, that is the undisputed center of the music universe. Why wouldn't a musician just focus 100% of their energy there?
Well, this raises an important question, and it is the exact tension the documents address in what they call the Spotify revelation.
The Spotify revelation, so dramatic, I love it.
It is dramatic, but it's accurate. The text states explicitly that Spotify does not need to be central to your system if it doesn't fit your artistic priorities. And to understand why, we have to look at the mechanism of how a platform like Spotify actually works under the hood.
Because it's not just a neutral library where music sits waiting to be found.
Far from it. Spotify's algorithm is designed to reward high completion rates, low skip rates, and immediate catchy hooks within the first few seconds of a track.
Got to get to the chorus in 10 seconds.
Exactly. It serves the platform's need to keep listeners passively engaged. But look at the context of Imre's work. The documents describe it as long-form, atmospheric, visual, and heavily identity-driven.
So not exactly background study music.
No. If you upload a 7-minute atmospheric piece that builds slowly over 3 minutes, a typical Spotify listener might skip it after 10 seconds.
And when they skip it, they are training the algorithm to bury your song.
Precisely. The algorithm penalizes the work because it assumes a skip means the song is bad, when in reality it's just a mismatch of platform and format.
That is so frustrating for an artist.
It is. The source material points out that this kind of immersive art is much better served by platforms that support fuller artist presentation, video integration, narrative framing, and curated collections.
So the strategy reclassifies Spotify completely. It's not the center of gravity. It is merely an optional distribution endpoint.
Optional. That's the key word.
I can only imagine the psychological relief for a creator reading that. I mean, you don't have to butcher your 7-minute orchestral track to fit a 30-second algorithmic mold just because, you know, quote unquote, everyone is on Spotify.
Right. It allows you to step back and ask, am I using this platform because it actually serves my goals, or just because of industry peer pressure?
If a platform actively punishes your specific style of art, you shouldn't be building your house there.
Exactly. And once you remove Spotify from the center of the universe, you are forced to look at your actual analytics to see where your audience is genuinely connecting with the work.
Which brings up a major plot twist in the source material. When the strategists looked at the actual data and fan signals, the discovery engine wasn't one of the trendy new apps. It was ReverbNation.
Yeah, that was a huge surprise.
I have to admit, when I saw ReverbNation in the text, I was shocked. For anyone unfamiliar, ReverbNation is an older music networking and hosting site that was huge in, like, the late 2000s. It feels like a total blast from the past.
It does, but the analytics screenshots in the documents absolutely proved its value here.
The stats don't lie.
They really don't.
Yeah.
That's why strategy must be guided by data, not assumptions. ReverbNation emerged as the strongest music-facing showcase and traffic platform in IMRE's entire ecosystem.
Why do you think that is, mechanically speaking?
When you look at the mechanics of the site, it makes perfect sense for this specific creator. ReverbNation acts as a comprehensive electronic press kit. It provides visible play counts, video integration, detailed fan stats, and a localized ranking system.
It's basically an all-in-one package. The way I visualize it, ReverbNation is functioning as the highly polished display window of a retail store.
Oh, that's a good analogy.
When a fan walks by, the lighting is perfect, the mannequins are dressed flawlessly, and you instantly understand the aesthetic and the vibe of the artist. It presents the songs, albums, and videos cleanly in one place.
But a display window is only one part of a business.
Exactly. You also need a place to actually organize the inventory. Now, initially they thought a platform called BandLab might serve as the primary discovery hub, but the data proved otherwise.
Because BandLab is fundamentally different from ReverbNation. For those who might not know, BandLab is essentially a cloud-based digital audio workstation. It's a music creation and collaboration tool.
So the strategy documents pivot away from using BandLab as a public discovery engine.
Right. Instead, they redefine it as the ecosystem's archive. It's a playlist host and a creation layer.
It's the stockroom. If ReverbNation is the display window out front, BandLab is the meticulously organized stockroom in the back.
Perfect way to frame it.
But wait, if BandLab is just a stockroom for organizing files, why even use a public platform for that? Why not just keep everything in a private Google Drive or, I don't know, a Dropbox folder?
Because of how BandLab interacts with the rest of the internet, which we will get into shortly. It allows for public-facing themed collections without the pressure of being a primary marketing tool. It holds the drafts, the piano room ideas, and the categorized playlists.
Okay, I see. And wrapping around this ReverbNation display window and this BandLab stockroom are the major pillars we all recognize. YouTube remains the primary video engine for public visibility under the Kolozsvary Productions brand.
And Patreon serves as the premium support layer.
Right. Patreon is a subscription platform where superfans pay a monthly fee for exclusive access. In this ecosystem, Patreon is strictly housed under the Coriuminus artist identity, offering deep dive content like sheet music and behind-the-scenes access.
What this entire platform map proves is that older or more niche platforms can absolutely outperform trendy ones if they align better with your specific needs.
You just have to find what works for you.
Exactly. You do not need 1 million followers on a platform that doesn't showcase your work properly. You need the right platform doing the right job.
So Kolozsvary Productions has this beautiful display window in ReverbNation and a perfectly organized stockroom in BandLab. But a display window is one-directional. It's static.
Yeah, it doesn't talk back.
Right. It doesn't solve the problem of audience retention.
Right.
Where do the fans actually go to talk to each other about what they just found?
Well, community requires a dedicated space, which is why the strategy heavily incorporates Discord. Yes. Discord is a communication app organized into servers, which are basically private communities broken down into specific chat rooms and voice channels. But the text makes it very clear, Discord only works if you enforce a highly specific etiquette.
The documents call it the art of the listening room. The server setup they designed is brilliant. First, the server name matches the umbrella brand, Kolozsvary Productions.
Keeping it consistent?
Always. And inside, it is meticulously categorized. You have information channels for official updates, you have visuals for ARIA's virtual artwork, you have general community chat. But the music category is where the organization really shines.
They don't just dump all the audio into one chat.
No, not at all. They separate finished tracks into a new music channel, works in progress into a drafts channel, and they even dedicate specific spaces for piano room and lyrics poetry. They also utilize live voice spaces for real-time listening sessions.
But the true genius of this Discord strategy is how it connects back to BandLab. This answers your earlier question about why they use BandLab instead of a private Google Drive. The documents detail exactly how BandLab acts as the perfect delivery mechanism for Discord.
The link preview cards, this is such a smart technical detail.
It changes the entire user experience. When you are trying to share music in a Discord chat, You never want to drop a raw, naked MP3 file into the channel.
Ugh, no. It looks clunky.
Right, it requires people to download something and it just completely lacks context. Instead, the strategy is to upload the track to BandLab, create a themed playlist, give it a short title and a one-line mood description, and then post that specific BandLab link into the Discord channel.
And because of how the software integrates, that BandLab link automatically generates a beautiful, attractive preview card right inside the chat window.
It looks so professional.
It really does. It has a play button, it has artwork, it has the title. It transforms a sterile file dump into a curated invitation. The text actually refers to it as creating a listening journey for the audience.
Which is a beautiful way to phrase it.
And this philosophy of curation extends to how the creator is advised to behave on other people's Discord servers, too. There is an entire section dedicated to Discord etiquette, and honestly, everyone who uses the internet needs to internalize this part.
Oh, 100%. They call it the golden rhythm of posting.
The golden rhythm.
Introduce once, share once, then interact with others. It is fundamentally about respecting the space you are entering. You never, ever drop a naked link without context.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? Think about this in the context of your own life. If you're in a group chat with your friends and someone just drops a random YouTube link or a Spotify link with zero text attached to it, what do?
You ignore it.
Exactly, you ignore it. It feels like homework.
It feels like a demand on your time rather than an invitation to connect. When you provide context, you lower the psychological burden on the recipient.
The strategy documents give a fantastic script for how to do this correctly. Instead of just pasting a link and typing, listen to my song, the suggested feedback request looks like this.
Let's hear it.
Quote, "Hello everyone, I'd love some feedback on a recent piece of mine. It starts with solo piano and gradually opens into a fuller sound. I'm especially interested in whether the pacing and emotional build feel natural."
Look at the mechanics of that message. By telling people exactly what to listen for, the pacing and the emotional build, you are guiding their attention.
You're giving them an anchor.
You are. You are treating the Discord channel as a doorway to a conversation, rather than just a storage vault for your self-promotion. You're actually inviting them to participate in the creative process.
It is incredibly intentional. Every platform is utilized for its specific mechanical strength, which allows us to step back and look at the ultimate synthesis of these documents.
Like big picture.
Yes, the master blueprint for Kolozsvary's digital existence looks like this. Kolozsvary Productions acts as the corporate umbrella. Coriuminus is the specific artist identity.
ReverbNation operates as the public showcase and display window.
BandLab functions as the organized archive and stockroom. Discord is the community listening room. YouTube is the video engine.
Patreon is the premium support layer, and Spotify is relegated to an optional endpoint.
It's a cohesive, resilient ecosystem. The naming hierarchy removes the cognitive friction for the fans, and the platform strategy removes the operational friction for the creator.
Nothing is wasted. No single piece of software is being forced to do a job it wasn't designed for.
So I want to turn this back to you, listening right now. Think about your own digital footprint. Whether you are an artist trying to release music, a professional managing a freelance portfolio, or just someone juggling a bunch of different side projects.
Which is most of us.
Right. How are you organizing your digital selves? Are you letting your chosen platforms do what they actually do best? Or are you forcing one platform to do everything, battling the algorithm, and just exhausting yourself in the process?
It is the defining architectural question of our online lives, really. We have to build structures that serve us, rather than warping ourselves to serve the structure. But, as we wrap up this deep dive, looking at this incredibly intricate web of human creators, legacy handles, and curated digital spaces, it leaves me with one final lingering question.
Oh, what's that?
Well, we talked about how a legacy handle like Piano de Precious represents a creator's past, and a virtual persona like the ARIA project represents their present experimentation.
Right.
But as these virtual avatars become more sophisticated and gain their own independent audiences, what happens to the human identity at the center when the virtual persona ultimately outgrows the creator?